Almost dropped it. Almost doesn't count though. Wow, man, it is like dark. It's dark, but that's good. It's alright. Fucking, I was given thinking what happened in Texas, with the power grid, and then from a totally different angle, AFC came out, or probably just not really as different, kind of obvious, really. I'll be, people say, "Oh, I know everything," and there's no way you can whatever, but that's why you get all this feedback. But from perspective, I did not have because I didn't read, do not know about it. It's because the typical how everybody politicizes everything. Um, there's supposed to be these green initiatives, whatever, right? That were never that don't have didn't have time to be instituted, and you could see like, wow, okay, never mind. I'll turn this off for a second. So they have these green initiatives that are going to come up, but it's being Republicans. You know, well, not being Republicans, they just didn't have time. But let me just rethink what I'm about to say. When you blame somebody and try to place blame to somebody else, that's exactly what they're trying to do. And since these government programs haven't been time to institute it or whatever, you have something tangible, even though it's very small, associative, that you could use as an argument to find, people that are like-minded that's going to use that, to gain power with your own ideology, which is right now is white supremacy, because they're just going to politicize it and it's going to divulge and generate into race almost instantaneously. And so that's really what we're happening. And then you're going to use that to govern a large state. Of course, it's going to be corrupted and have dilapidated structure that's going to collapse at the first fucking give, like a storm or something like this, right? So you see, that's what happened. I mean, you could say something else, whatever, like, I'm just bullshitting, whatever, but it's exactly what happened. But that's the world we live in. We want to politicize everything. And what we're really doing is like we can't find something wrong with this idea, or sometimes, on an interpersonal level, we want to politicize. And what that's doing is shielding white supremacy, because what that really means, I want to be racist about it, you know? And that's what it is. That's what kind of frustrating to me. But I was just thinking about that, blaming. Do we have that in the culture? We're blaming the people of the exactly thing we're going to do. And people are very cautious to do that to me. They want to, without a doubt, I know they're doing it behind my back, but to my face, I mean, once you stabbed and shot people in the street and gotten away with it, because you had 50, 60 people go to court with you, people are hesitantly to do that to your face. They want to do it to you. As soon as the opportunity rises, whatever, especially you, because you have notoriety. They could just do a little something. They could drop the little crumbs around you, whatever, and be like, yeah, that's why I did this guy, whatever, and or whatever, what I'm talking about. But I'll never do that. I don't need to do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's the world we live in. So I know I was able to push that completely away when I was young, and I know the shadow of a shadow of a shadow still exists now. What I was, still exists now. So, but just a little bit of that, people still want. That's how pathetic and fucked up shit is out here. I'm talking about, so fucking poor out here. And it is. It's just very impoverished place. This is like a third world out here in Hawaii. So people try to do that shit. Um, So I'm not oblivious. I'm just saying it's just like I'm only gonna deal with the people that have the balls to say it to my face. But honestly, if you have the balls to say that shit to my face, you probably have something going for you. You know, you're very confident, and you're not gonna come up to me. You know what I'm talking about? So it's like a chicken and egg thing. If you have the balls to do that, you're taking care of business. You're working out. You got confidence in something about you, so you don't need to do it to begin with. You know what I mean? So that's just how it is. I'm sitting here like in the dark, you know what I'm saying? So that's why it looks a little bit fucked up. And getting back to AOC, but she brought up an interesting point. She's very smart, man. She's quick. I like that. I don't see that often. But I'm not gonna put this without making it totally fantastic. We gotta integrate the grid. Obviously, just gotta say fuck it. Wherever the most service area or the most of the perimeter is probably ideally which power grid you want to connect it to. Maybe Western Interconnect. So the Texas Interconnect will go to the Western Interconnect, where you get to split it right down the half. Boom, done. And probably because the probably that's probably what's going to happen because these are controlled monopolies, or whatever, and you probably want to split it 50-50 to the Western and Eastern Interconnect. Probably is what's going to happen. You just got to do it cold. Because it's already politicized and it's better for the general public, whatever, right? But what was I gonna say? Not being fantastic about it. Renewables, whole southern belt, Navajo country, Apache country, New Mexico, Arizona, Tejas, Southern California, the whole Sun Belt right there, right? With permission of native people, of course, you might want to set up some renewables, and that'll feed into the grid. So that'd be something you could always kind of do. Um, but in urban cities, you can do the same. Um, Especially in north, you're saying, oh well, there's not a lot of sun and everything like that. But oh god, we're so urbanized out here. It's like with COVID, or with pandemics, whatever, right? So we keep thinking like the pest of it, the vermin is rats. Were rats always a vermin? Probably throughout history, we probably really consider it a vermin because they eat whatever. And as we move their territory, as we kill animals, large animals cannot dwell in where we moved into. So what animals are left? The chickens, the cats, the rats, the mice. Small little animals. Like a rhino's not going to be there. An elephant's not going to be there. A giraffe is not going to be there. A bear or whatever. Okay, bear might come in, and moose might come in. But by and large, they're not going to be there. So follow me where I'm going with this. Follow me. It makes sense. All right, I'm telling you why and how it applies to renewable energy. So, and it'll give you an associated parallel, something that directly correlates. I'll do that. All right. So, throughout civilization, when we built up urban areas, we displaced animals, right? So, India, Fertile Crescent, uh, Greek, Rome, Nile. So we're building these cities, and only small animals are left. So nature found a way, like, how do we get to humans? Well, what animals are in the urban environment? Cats, mice, You know what I'm talking about? So nature discovered that the smaller the animal, easier it is to give us disease. So mice, by and large, are very mobile. They travel throughout wherever. They could be all over the world. You know what I'm talking about? And so a lot of so natural diseases have come into mice and rats or whatever, and they're in contact with humans. So human-born diseases naturally are in mice and in rats, whatever. And it's been like that for a while because evolution just found out that, it's like, wow, what animal survives down that the more urban environment we build, we are displacing natural wildlife, foxes and cats that kill mice, right? And the only animals left that we're displacing are the mice. So that's what we discovered. Now we did the studies. That's been happening for thousands of years, but now we codified it when we go build a suburban area. And they're like, well, now we have a pandemic because we're allowing more and more of the mice population. I think it's the white-tailed mice population to increase, that carries more infestations, more, can infect us more like diseases. So we displace more of the predators, and the only one that's left to stay there is the mice. And since there's no predators, it increases in its population. So we get more infected. But nature already figured it out, that put it in the mice. So we're increasing the likelihood of pandemics. Because we urbanized. So it's our weakness. We keep urbanizing because we need it. We need our comfortable standard of living. But nature already figured this out. How do we combat this with renewable energy, right? So now I always do displace the natural environment to build windmills and solar panels, whatever, and we don't have ideal environments for the good things, like for animals or for those other renewables, because we're up in the north where the sun doesn't really hit. How do we get those renewable energy? Because we don't have space for it in the cities, but we do. We do have space for it. Now, there's been studies showing that on a forest, it doesn't matter what kind of temperate forest, the sunlight hitting it and that bounces off is a certain ratio. Now, when it's on an urban environment, the sun that bounces down and it gets reflected off, it gets hotter and there's more of it. Why is that? Because it's unnatural. It's not soil. It's constructed materials, it's roads, it's other stuff. So that's what we got to use. You can say, oh, put it on all the roofs. Okay. Yeah, you could do that. But there's something you're overlooking. Because these urban environments do change weather patterns, because it's more water gets evaporated and everything else too. It's the roads, and that's how you make renewable energy. That's how you make solar power energy, is having the roads itself being a solar panel that creates electricity. And that's how you do it in urban environments. And we have a lot of roads. Cars pass, boom, light hits, done. And then at the same time, you can make it smart or whatever, and everything. It needs to be redone. So, and it could power the fucking cars. You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a win-win situation. So it's exactly the thing. We displace what we need to put up. We actually using. It's like fucking Elon Musk putting up all these satellites. The more satellites you put up, the faster the internet is going to become, because I've got all these different satellites that could focus on one little thing. I'm talking about putting more information. The more satellites and the faster you make them, the faster they could fight gravity, whatever, right? So the faster they go, it's better for them because they'll stay up there longer because they're fighting gravity faster instead of going slow geosynchronous, studying or whatever. And so they're all like just moving in a semi-random pattern. And the faster they go, the less dead areas you're creating for a shorter duration because it's geosynchronous. There will never actually always be perfect or whatever, and you'll have a dead spot. But if they're all zooming past or whatever, that dead spot will be very rare or whatever. So you're making it faster, getting less dead spots, and then on top of that, you're fighting gravity. I'm talking about. So you're doing all these things. The more you got it, the faster you get it being all these things. So the same thing with urban environments. The more you build, you could have it better renewable energy having the roads. So you have to have it helping us out and hindering the process of making renewable energies. I mean, we need forested areas. I mean, we should have rules saying that every house needs to have 2 trees or some shit. Some crazy shit like that so we don't kick ourselves in the ass down the road. But those roads need to be utilized for more than just transportation. It's as simple as that. And that's what I was thinking about. I think I got it. But what you gotta do, man? I mean, or else we're gonna be like stuck on oil forever. I mean, so it is what it is. I don't know. My thought. What I'm saying? This, my opinion. I don't want to get too fantastical about it. Like, oh yeah, turn the the roads into solar panels and shit like that. But you can. It could be like not just solar panels. It could also be heat conductive energy. It'd be like heat, and then there'd be like another layer under there, which is a lower temperature, and that little slight differential of temperature could create electricity. You know what I'm talking about? We think we need like hundreds of degrees of temperature. We don't. We just need a differential of something to be moved and creating a magnetic pulse to turn a motor to create electrical energy. You know what I'm talking about? That's all we need. It's like people like look at nuclear panel, like my ABC engine, ABC everything, my atomic battery, sometimes chemical. We want to get everything but chemical, everything but chemical. That's my energy. That's my space engine. Anything but chemical. ABC engine. Anything but chemical. Everything. Haha. Think a little bit Spanish there. That I don't speak. That I should. Because you use gravity, force of gravity. Because when you have two big masses, they're going to pull together. And you use magnetism to pull them together. And then use magnetism and electricity to force them apart and bump up against each other. Boom, 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 boom. And that reciprocating reverse polarity of that magnet. Because you get it, how like a TV with pixels fluctuate, what I'm saying? They turn off and on like the milliseconds, how fast, how you can have with the pulsing, whatever, right? And to get two masses, whatever, two parts of the ship fluctuating, moving back and forth, so that little miniature movement, but millions of times per second, pushing and pulling is really the distance that someone needs to calculate. Could be like a football field, or the distance of New York to California in a second, times the kinetic, times the weight of both forces, or whatever, of both objects, whatever, at a constant rate. I'm talking about. So it's not just a one-off where you just got that one little joule. That's a constant joule every second. building, going faster. And that's what you want to do, you know what I'm saying? But my point, how are you going to power these magnets going boop, 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 boop? You know what I'm talking about? Um, atomic energy. And it was like, oh man, these things are huge, but it doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be this crazy, fucking monstrous. We already have them where you can put it on ships, but you put them inside bromium rods that only make it a certain temperature, so that liquid that's in there doesn't need to get irradiated to a god awful degree that it's just moving inside of a circle. Boom, 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 boom. So it's heating up, expanding or whatever, pushing the water that way because it'll be like sort of like a valve or whatever, right? So just creating that thing. So I mean, and under pressure, whatever, it needs to even be temperature change needs to even be lighter. You know what I'm talking? So the thicker you make it, the more insulated you make it, the less waste nuclear radiation will escape. The better the water will actually have energy contained within it and move it. Because you at least, you heard tri points or whatever, or something under pressure. So you just, and that's all atomic energy is a glorified steam engine. And so, and what that is just pushing water around like this, So that's all. You just need to get that movement, and the faster you get that movement, boom, you got a motor, and you got making electricity, and that thing is. And since you don't need a lot of it, you just need to change it a little bit of degrees. You don't need to melt down the fucking core of the goddamn planet hot. How we make it right now is like you look at it. And that shit shears off your fucking eyes and shit. Like, who the fuck came up with this shit? Are you fucking stupid? Like, and you're gonna work there? I don't fucking know. It's like, I'm not fucking skin falling off. Like, you just need to change just a little bit of degrees, and whatever, and you just make the electricity, and you put that in space, and you're good, man. So, and it doesn't have to be all that big. You just got this constant, almost forever engine. 17 years, really, probably. I don't know. No, I just know something was a half-life. It's another nuclear metal that has half-life that. But whatever it is, it's really fucking long. You know what I'm talking about? So that's what it is. I think about, and then you have better batteries and shit. But I don't know. It's my thought. People in Texas. Shit. I was born there. Raised in Jersey, I think. Stayed there. The story goes I was 2 weeks old. And then I was adopted to Jersey. So could be a week, could be 3 weeks, but the story is 2 weeks, so like I try to be highly accurate about my genealogy where I grew up, so I don't want to stay with 13 days or 15 days, but 2 weeks is what I was told, so. San Antonio, but I just wanted to. I'm so glad I didn't grow up there, man. It's just like I think it's one of the most racist places in the world. Where the fuck's happening? There's like I don't know people down there or whatever, Especially my parents coming from the reservation, they were removed from the reservation. Maybe they I don't know, man. And everybody keeps saying I'm better off not being from the reservation, but there is Navajo in Jersey, a handful. How I met people from the Big Island and at the Jersey Shore, but not too many. Most of them, when I grew up, I met a couple Navajo. Oh God, maybe I met a few Mohawk. I met more Mohawk than actually I met Navajo. So not that I absorbed the culture of Mohawk, but identified more. I feel I was speaking to this one Hawaiian. He's like, when I was young, he kind of embarrassed a little bit having this blood, that blood, or being half, and kind of same thing. Like I didn't know what Navajo were, so but it is what it is. I told my close friends I was Navajo, but most people I just said I was Mohawk. So they know what the fuck it was. But instead of them trying to guess like 10 ways from Sunday, what the fuck is he? I'm like, Native American, what? I'm Mohawk. But basically my Latino friends, more understanding towards Native causes. Puerto Ricans really understanding about Native people. So I was like, yeah, I'm Navajo, you know what I'm saying? So, and I don't really think I met too many Puerto Ricans that were like, fuck Native Americans, like, they're like, what I'm saying? I didn't meet any, but I just, it'd just be weird if they did, but you know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Maybe it could be. I mean, you know what I'm saying? It's like one thing to be like one thing, but it's just like, come on. I guess there's a few somewhere. Right? There was a few somewhere, right? I met I met Navajo there, Trump. Okay. Not my business. I'm not gonna tell you to vote for, but try to be independent. Whatever. Is what it is. Okay, I'm gonna get a game in. You know what it is? A lot of Latinos and other minorities to be like, oh, we're equal to white people, so we'll be accepted by white people, but all the other minorities, all the other whatever are not white. We're is equal to white, and we're considered white, so we could like Trump and won't be weird. It is fucking weird. It's fucking weird as fuck, dude. You liking Trump? It's weird. Oh my god, it's so fucking bizarre. You know what I'm saying? And but so many groups believe that the race is against other groups except their own minority group because they're equal to white people and they consider themselves white. I'm like, dude, you're not white. They don't like you. Trust me, do not like you. I grew up in a German household. They do not like you. They just want to use you. No, I'm racial superiority too, man. I'm like superior, whatever, to everybody else. It's every other minority, not my minority, and that's how they ration. That's how they try to cope with racism. Morons. I'm gonna stop and restart this.